I can see, but there is a slight lack of sharpness. And she's like, "Tera dimag vlog mein hi chal raha hai." And
I'm scared.
you're laughing from there. Allah na kare kabhi teri bari aaye.
It turns out my cornea is possibly not actually thick enough.
There's a fire in the middle of the night and I can't see, or I can't find my specs. How the hell am I supposed to know where to run? Welcome to this video. I'm kicking it off with excited but also nervous energy. For context, today is the 1st of January 2024 and I'm super excited and nervous because you've seen the title to this video. It's because I have been planning, thinking about, and finally think I'm getting LASIK surgery. I have been told to stay lensless for 72 hours, 3 days, but I've done it for 4 days. I was at home, it's been a chill New Year's Eve, that kind of a thing, and today is my 4th day of not wearing my lenses at all, and I have my doctor's consult tomorrow morning. This is where they check me out and tell me whether my cornea and the thickness is eligible to even go ahead and get the procedure. I want to give you a couple of details before we dive into that, just so you have some context about my eyesight in general, in case you're watching this from the point of view of wanting to get a similar procedure. I have a -6.5 in both my eyes. I have some kind of a cylindrical power as well, but it's really small and I don't remember what it is. I have a power in my eyes since I was in the 3rd or 4th grade, and right off the bat when I started at the time, I think it started at a -2.5 or something like that. For the first year or so, my mom actually didn't believe me. It's a funny story that we all laugh about at home. She didn't believe me that I couldn't see the blackboard in class properly because I always wanted chashma as a chashma wala. I know it's a really funny, stupid backstory, and she thought that I am messing around with her just because I want specs, and I actually couldn't see properly. And finally, I think it was when one of my teachers told her that I'm constantly squinting my eyes or copying from the partner instead of copying from the blackboard, when she finally took me seriously. This is by 5th or 6th standard, I think it was. So it really was a while till she believed me, and I think it obviously made it worse because it worked out the way it did. I don't blame my mom. I think I was too fascinated by chashmas and being a chashma wala, that's my last name, and just all of that. My number, as far as I know, has been consistent for the last maybe 10 odd years, I think. Question mark, fingers crossed, because tomorrow is D-Day for me to find out how consistent it truly is. And I have pretty much always been okay with having the power because it's kind of the only way I know to live, but at the same time I can't drive with specs because your periphery vision kind of goes for a toss, and with such a high power I can't take that risk because I'm always looking at the mirrors, right? And I drive a lot. In case you don't follow my vlogs, that's a little piece of information for you. A question that I get asked fairly often is why I didn't opt for this sooner, because I would have had more number power free years of my life, because I'm 32 now, and they say that by 42 you start getting a reading minor or number coming back. The reason I didn't opt for it sooner, to be honest, is because when I was 26, I bought my own house in 2018, and up until 2022, I had a home loan. What the connection between the two, really honestly, is that it's not that the procedure is so expensive, it's just that once you get a LASIK surgery done, they give you a downtime of about 1 month of not wearing any eye makeup. Now, whether it's still 1 month, whether technology has changed that, whether the downtime I'll need might be different, we'll find out tomorrow. Considering my full-time job for the last 12 years has been that I am a content creator, 1 month of no eye makeup in particular means potentially losing out on campaigns. I had friends and family well-wishers who said pre-film your content, which I will do anyway before I go into surgery. Or I guess even my audience online, you guys are like so understanding. I'm sure that you would be like, listen, take your time. But the thing is that if I got a campaign and the campaign was for something to go live within the next 2 weeks, you don't always get work so much in advance. Sometimes actually in a line of work, we get work that's very last minute as well, and I would lose all that business. And because I had the home loan, it was just like, I was like, I'm gonna wait for the home loan to be done and then consider getting this done. Alhamdulillah, touch wood, I got done with my home loan in April 2022. and life has just been happening since. Somehow it slipped out of my mind again, and I was kind of brought back to the subject of getting my LASIK done because a few weeks ago in my sleep my hand hit my specs, I think, because when I woke up I'm used to reaching for, you know, that spot with my eyes closed even, and I couldn't find my specs. It took me about 10 minutes, and getting off the bed, when my feet hit the floor, I realized that they had touched the specs on the floor. Clearly I had, you know, smacked them in my sleep or dropped them in my sleep or whatever. And in that moment it was so frustrating that I had to struggle so much to find the specs in a moment like that. I've just always been this very worst case scenario, practical solution, prepare for the worst kind of a person. While I am an optimist, there is a very big part of me that's like that, and I always fear, and that day kind of brought the fear top of mind, that if there's a fire in the middle of the night and I can't see or I can't find my specs, how the hell am I supposed to know where to run, because my power is quite high. Anyway, because of all of those feelings, I'm finally getting my LASIK done. Hopefully tomorrow morning I will circle back, either take you along with me or tell you exactly what the doctor is saying in my consult. Send me good juju is all I can pray and request for. Yeah, see you tomorrow.
I can't say any on this side.
I'm already close your left hand.
ZANFTR FHDP OZ NEET FRHOZ ATPR and DZ.
It's -6 in both eyes. It's not -6.5.
So I'm getting extra now.
No, in your glasses also it's -6 only.
It's very scratched in case of leaving my glasses. These glasses are at least 15 years ago. I don't know them. Can I put it? Actually, no, go back.
Aanam, look up.
Blink, 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 blink. Don't close your eyes. Blink, blink.
Oh, that's salty.
Blink, blink, blink. You can wipe it. You can wipe
Okay, right.
Yes.
Go back.
Fine. Open your eyes widely. Now don't blink. Is it gonna touch me? Nothing will happen to it. Nothing will happen. You said move back, right? Just wait out. So there is one more test of calling and
"2,000 years later."
We are on our way back from the hospital, the eye hospital visit. It turns out my cornea is possibly not actually thick enough to go in for the traditional LASIK surgery, the one where they move the flap and then kind of point the laser or whatever. So I might be opting for the newer one. I'll talk through more later because right now the sunlight is a little bit too harsh for my eyes. But I wanted to pop on here and tell you that I'm actually on my way to another eye clinic in Bandra where doctor herself wanted me to go to get one more test done. Just repeat the same tests essentially, because those machines are linked with the machine she will be using for the treatment on my eyes, for the procedure on my eyes. So she just wants to double check the thickness of my cornea, because she's super specific and she's saying even if you're in the gray area, you will not opt for it. It's as clear as that. We will not mess with your eyes. The other option, obviously, like I said, is the newer laser and not the LASIK, like basically blade and bladeless, is something on those lines. Again, I will talk about it in a little bit. The sunlight is really harsh and my eyes are super sensitive and my pupils are still dilated. Talk soon.
You're laughing from there. Allah na kare kabhi teri bari aaye. Ne khud ke aankh mein. Can you hear him laughing from behind the camera? Such a rascal. No, he is. I'll be done by tomorrow this time, inshallah. Hi, good morning. It is the next day and so much happened yesterday, packed in, that I didn't get the time to sit down and properly update you on things that are going on. Yesterday, I did the first round of tests that you saw, and then I did the second round of testing that actually proved that I am eligible for the traditional style of LASIK. My doctor feels that the traditional style of LASIK is a lot better for me, considering that my number is so high, and I basically said to her that I'm going to go with absolutely whatever she recommends. Now, you need about a week of no lens wearing before you get your LASIK procedure done, and I, as of yesterday, was already on day 5 of no lenses, and today I'm on day 6. Plus, I felt like I don't want to keep delaying it and I don't want to land up changing my mind. So doctor gave me the option to go ahead and have my LASIK procedure today, as in literally today, on the 3rd of January 2024. What a way to bring in the year. I contemplated for a hot minute, but I also didn't want to keep delaying it. I didn't want to land up changing my mind, and doctor would be, I think, traveling for a few days after, and so it was now or like later. Plus the whole complication of how I would absolutely need to be lens free again for another week before actually getting the procedure, which means I can't do any eye makeup shoots and things like that, which I kind of have to keep in mind because of my job. I obviously can't do my makeup with my glasses on, because when I take my glasses off to do the makeup, let's say, I don't really have great vision in any case, right? Which brings us back to the purpose of doing this whole thing. And so your mama is gonna go get her LASIK surgery today. It's about 4 minutes per eye, so it's actually only like an 8-minute procedure, but I will be in the hospital for about 2 hours, they said, because there's prep time and there's, I think, I'm assuming, observation time right after. I guess when I come back and give you another update after the procedure, you will be able to get more concrete information from me. I quickly want to just touch upon the types of lasers and LASIKs that there are, because doctor walked me through 3 different options, and while I'm obviously not a professional, this is what my doctor has told me, and in case you're considering this for yourself, please go ahead and talk to your doctor and get the information and options there. One is the traditional one, which is where they move, I think, like the surface level of the flap of your cornea, lift it up and then get the job done, which is your traditional LASIK, bulletproof, foolproof, in my doctor's words, completely, painless and not an issue at all. Your recovery period is about up to 6 weeks. She said I should be fine-ish in 2 weeks, but like it technically takes up to 6 weeks for that layer of the eye which they move to heal and come together in that sense. The other option is just absolutely bladeless, and blade is not like a blade, like a shaving blade. Obviously, this is a different type of a blade meant for the eye, because I was imagining the scaries. I knew it wasn't, but I was imagining the scary blade for a while, and then when I saw the infographic in the brochure, I was like, oh, this makes so much more sense. This is just me being silly. The second is completely bladeless, where they hold your eye like this. I'm sure I've heard and I know that there's some kind of an instrument that will hold the eye open, point the laser into your eye. This goes through the layer. The first layer which you're actually lifting in the first type of LASIK is not lifted here, so it's going through it. So the 3 days after this procedure can be really uncomfortable. You can have redness, your eyes could water, you could have super sensitive eyes. The 3 days they say, and then after 3 days it's a song. But I have a really high power, so this is one that my doctor said we should try and stay away from if possible. Just because I have a super high power, we're sticking with the first one. And then the third type of LASIK, from what I've told, is something called the ICL, which is actually an invasive procedure where they go ahead and put the lens inside the eye, behind. I don't want to say anything wrong, so just look it up, but essentially it's a more invasive procedure where the lens goes inside the eye. I don't know, there is a gap between the eye. I don't want to get the things wrong, so I don't want to say it, but I would suggest you look these up. And if you are considering LASIK for yourself, I do obviously recommend you get all the options from your doctor. I will for sure go ahead and put my doctor's information down below in the description section, so if you're based in Mumbai or are coming to Mumbai for something like this, she should be very helpful. I know a bunch of people who've gotten their LASIK done from her, which is why I feel so confident about my choice of doctor for this procedure. She's also a family friend, which makes it all the all the sweeter. And I really appreciate how she said, no, if your cornea thickness is not up to it, nobody's gonna play with your eyes, we're going to not do it, you will stick with your specs and your contact lens life. But when she did the test again is when she was convinced. So I feel like it's just really important to get a doctor that's super trustworthy, as opposed to someone who is just doing it to be able to bill you for it, which I'm very sure my doctor is not. Yeah, so it's 3rd of January morning right now, and I have my procedure this afternoon. I'm excited, I am nervous, I'm very nervous and scared. I have to be honest. The idea of somebody obviously going into the eye, not going into the eye, but even just around the eye, is something that usually gives me the heebie-jeebies, because that's not normal obviously. But I'm gonna say Bismillah and get this going, and hopefully I will see you on the other side. I'm scared. No, I'm positive, but I'm also like, I'm scared. You're gonna need to be in my eyes for the next few days till I'm in recovery.
You may find that more.
Inshallah. I'm excited to be like specs free. I can finally, during Halloween, wear random color lenses, because I could never do that. They don't come in power, so I could never explore that side of things.
Is that why you're doing it?
Oh please, it's just one of the few benefits I'm looking forward to. I'm excited, but I'm scared. Like, now it's kicking in.
Jelena is a real cartoon.
I married a cartoon. Married the entire Cartoon Network.
Are you calling my family also cartoon by saying that?
Kind of. Sana would agree.
That's why I stopped. Mama, I was waiting for his perfect. Yeah.
And
Not bad. Not bad. I was expecting the white ones.
now you think not bad, and he's laughing his ass off.
Divesh is always laughing at me.
जरा धूम का गाना बजा ना.
धूम पिक्चर का अभिषेक बच्चन.
ये अभिषेक बच्चन नहीं, ये अली वाला कैरेक्टर है.
What a downgrade. Premya Ali wala character. Okay.
Later.
Hi, hello. It is about 6:20 p.m. in the evening, and clearly and visibly, I am done with my LASIK procedure. I've slept through the afternoon, no nibbles, and in fact just woken up a little while ago. My team has pretty much been working, and I was sitting with Clianta and she was asking me if there are different kinds of LASIKs. And I know I said this earlier in the video, but I feel like I wasn't like descriptive enough, and while I was about to answer you, I felt like I should vlog this because I have a slightly better understanding with all the models and visuals and everything that they share. So basically, traditional LASIK, which is what I've done, is where, like, suppose this is the topical layer of the cornea. There's a very teeny tiny, and they do call it a blade, which sounds really scary, but it wasn't scary at all. I will talk about my experience a little bit more in some time. They kind of like, let's say, slice it, or let's say like open the flap, they move it open, and then they shoot the laser in.
Okay.
Right? And then they close the flap back on top of your eye. That's the traditional one, which I did. And then there is one which is completely flapless, bladeless, where you shoot the laser into the eye through the top layer as well. And obviously here you're basically shooting the laser through the top layer. So the first 3 days from getting it done are like super painful or itchy, or there's redness, or there's eye waters. People have different experiences, but essentially you can be uncomfortable for 3 days, let's say. In my case, with the traditional one, it's a completely painless procedure and everything. And alhamdulillah, like I obviously my eyes haven't completely caught focus, let's call it, as yet. Like it takes some time. It's there, I can see, but there is a slight lack of sharpness, and it takes up to, like, for some people it takes a few days, for some people it goes up to 2 weeks, for some people it goes up to basically up to 6 weeks is your healing period, because you have kind of like sliced open your cornea, lifted it, shot the laser, and put it back. So that going back up, it's like getting, for lack of any other example that I can give, let's say you have a scar on your hand, you've cut it or whatever, it's gonna take time to heal, right? And I think I heard her say eye cream or something. I don't know if I heard her correctly. She put something on the eye when she put it back. And then at the end of the procedure, she put a contact lens on, which is kind of like a band-aid that's gonna hold it together, which my sister-in-law, who's gone to the same doctor as me, Dr. Sonia Nankani, mentioned that she'll take it off tomorrow for me, because that's where it just kind of needs to sit in for a day, and that's where like the on its own healing will start. For now, that is on my cornea kind of like a band-aid. It looked like a transparent contact lens that she put on, because I could see what she was putting on. About the experience today, right, because it's all so fresh in my head, I was super intimidated. And walking in, and because, like, you know how like hospital rooms, OTs are like shades of like blue or whatever, and I had a little bit of a flashback of last year's OT, which obviously was not a pleasant experience at all for many different reasons. I was like, oh my god, I'm volunteering to do this, like, what is gonna happen? And literally I was done in under 10 minutes. Like, is it intimidating for me? Yeah, it was, because I get the heebie-jeebies about somebody, even their hand going close to my eyes, because I'm okay with doing it with my contact lens and this and that. I'm super savvy with my own things, but obviously somebody else's hand going into your eye, I did almost panic one time during the process, but that was because suddenly there was water, and then she was walking me through it, obviously, but it still feels like such a new weird sensation. But she was so nice in the way that she kept telling me what she was doing. She was, okay, now I'm moving the flap, now you're going to get some water, I'm washing the eye.
Comfort.
It's very comforting, and I feel like that really helped. The only one place where I kind of like was, even though she said it, was when the water came, and I was like, okay, this is really strange.
It's a natural thing, but
yeah, and there's a clip that holds your eye open. I was worried that that clip hurts, because a couple of my friends said that they did feel some pressure from the clip. I felt none. Like, in terms of pain, in terms of pressure, I felt none. When I was gonna hear the sound coming from the laser, my doctor was like, okay, you're gonna hear the sound from the laser. Okay, can I give you a really weird, gory detail? You know how sometimes when something is burning, you can get that smell like a mosquito dying. That's my reference. When the laser came, I could get that smell, because I can see the laser coming, obviously, at me. And you can't blink or move, and I was, I think, subconsciously moving a little bit, because my number is really high, and I didn't know I didn't have, she like the doctor was like, look straight, look straight. And I think subconsciously I was looking away, even though I thought I was looking straight into the laser. I don't know if it has something to do with how much control you have at that time, based on, because you have anesthetical drops that they start the entire procedure with. None of this is happening without anesthesia on your eye, obviously. So it's completely painless in that sense, completely bloodless. But that was the only time when I was like, wait, I feel like I'm looking straight, but she's telling me I'm not looking straight. So she kind of had to hold my head and guide me into that. But I really appreciated how kind she was. There was you know, like how you have nurses and sisters. There were nurses, sisters, all of that in the room. There was one like brother, like Kaka they called him. And when he realized I was nervous, he so sweetly came and like held my hand. And I squeezed his hand for the life of me. So it was just a very nice, sweet setup in that sense. 10 minutes, I was done. I was out. I've been asked to avoid screen time as much as possible till Monday. I felt no pain. She put eye drops for me, 2 different eye drops for me right after my procedure. They also gave me a combi flam. They said just in case you get any pain, it can happen for some people. I got no pain. Maybe it's because they gave me the combi flam immediately. I don't know. Yeah, it's a great thing. And I've just slept. How long did I sleep for?
I think 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which is very rare for you.
Which is so, I don't sleep in the day, you guys. I don't sleep at all. And like, I had this moment just before I fell asleep where I did this and I looked around my room and I was like, I can see things. I can see things without specs or lens. Like right now, I can see you. Like you're not too sharp right now, but like I said, it takes some time.
A few days, yeah.
Like I can't see the screen Aanam at all, for example. Like she's super hazy. But the fact that I'm able to even see this
I can remember all your
much,
videos that you do, especially the skincare ones.
where I'm like playing blind with my skincare, because like what do? I can't wash my face for a while. I cannot wash my hair on my own at home. I asked her if I can go to the salon and get a hair wash, and she's like, yeah, fine, sure, go for it.
What about perfume and all?
I didn't ask about perfume. I should. That was a really strange not do before the surgery. Don't apply perfume on yourself, and even your primary caregiver needs to not apply perfume on themselves. Tomorrow I have a follow-up appointment with her at 11:30 a.m. I'm guessing that's where the contact lens, band-aid, whatever it's called, comes off. So nice and so sweet and so careful, and obviously I'm going to keep vlogging and take you guys along with me with each day for the next week or so to just give you an idea of how I'm feeling. But I'm really grateful for this experience. I feel like I've had specs, or I've had a number in my eye since 3rd standard, and like I mentioned to you guys earlier, my mom took me seriously only by the time I was in the 5th, 6th standard. So I've spent a majority of my life being dependent on lenses or spectacles for anything and everything. So it feels just really special to be able to see my cat without specs or lenses. And it's just my, I don't know if you'll relate to this. Koi Mil Gaya, Hrithik Roshan, when he wakes up one fine day and you know he can see and he doesn't need his specs.
Yeah.
I have fantasized about that moment all my life. I'm going to cry and I don't think I should be crying. So I will not cry because I'm not allowed to put water in it. So maybe crying is a bad thing also right now. The one time in my life I actually did wake up where I could see everything was when I had gone to sleep with my contact lenses. Don't do that, kids. It's not good for your eyes. It can really mess you up, and it really dried my eyes out and did like whatever is not good for me at all. Now I can actually live that Koi Mil Gaya fantasy of mine and wake up and not need anything. So that's where I'm at. I'll come back and check back in and try to vlog tomorrow. I also have to insert a picture over here of me with Dr. Nankani, because before we got into the OT, she was like, you need anything? You need anything? I was like, so she's my mom's friend, like I mentioned, right? I was like, Auntie, I want a picture of you and me looking like this. She was in her scrubs in OT form.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, everything. And then she took her mask off for the picture, which was sweet. And I was in like a gown on top and a cap that they put on me and everything. And she's like, Tera dimag vlog mein hi chal raha hai. And I was like, yeah, mera dimag actually vlog mein hi chal raha hai. Even after the procedure, when they had me read something, I was like, Jerry, can you get footage for me? And she goes, I will give you lots of footage, child. Just finish this. So yeah, I want to try and get her to say some things in the video tomorrow and give you guys like a few tips or things to keep in mind or whatever at some point. Should be interesting, especially because she's going to be moving in the entire unit of doing the operation within her own hospital. Like I did mine in Bandra, and she has tie-ups with different hospitals that she's been doing the actual like surgeries at, but now she's moving everything into her hospital, so that should be an exciting development at her end. Okay, I'm gonna have my water. I'm going to spend some time with Nibbles. I'm going to have Cleanthal leave, and I'm going to talk to you tomorrow morning from the doctors.